Welcome to the Reality Revolution. I'm your host, Brian Scott. We're going to have some fun today, and we're going to start a basic lesson in energy manipulation. This is a video on how to create and use energy balls. This is so much fun. It's a beginning step in learning how to manipulate energy outside of your body. And as we learn this, we can inevitably go beyond just creating energy, and we can start to create thought forms. We can start to understand thought forms. And even more so, we can create thought forms to battle other thought forms. And it all begins with understanding energy and how it works. It starts with creating energy balls, and inevitably you can learn how to create servitors. We see an example of this in the Law of One material, a sort of evolution of this practice, where it is claimed that advanced fifth density beings were attacking the group that's being channeled because they were in service to others, and the service to self was trying to stop them, and they were using what appeared to be some sort of entity, but it most likely was just a created servitor using an energy ball. It's really, really fascinating when you read the Law of One material. Based on one of the questions, it indicates the Confederation of Planets has an ongoing war with the Orion group that is service to self, and only fourth density are actually taking part in the war. The ones in fifth and sixth density do not partake, and only a limited number in the fourth density agree to go to war because these are nasty wars. They're thought wars. But that's a side note. We talk about creating reality all the time with our thoughts. Now, we're going to start to experiment with this on another level. We're going to start creating energy with our thoughts. We're going to start trying to manipulate this energy with our thoughts. And it starts with creating energy balls. So if you're serious about this, you can really use it for a variety of things. It's very powerful. It's an interesting subject, creating the energy ball in psychism, as well as in the occult arts. It is an excellent way to learn how to effectively manipulate energy. It can also do countless things. It's fun to make. Create an energy ball is all about manipulating or controlling unique chi or magical energy. You can form it into a ball and even command it to do a task for you. Learning to create an energy ball is an exciting and excellent training to increase your concentration, exercise your willpower, and be a more effective energy manipulator. So you have to understand this unique magical energy. Ancient occult teachings express this idea that everything in the universe is made of energy. In fact, even modern science, specifically quantum physics, has proven this belief. But what is magical energy? This magical energy is not new. Even in ancient times, people have used and referred to this mysterious power. In India, it is known as prana. In China, it goes by the name of chi. In Japan, it is called ki. In Greece, they refer to it as pneuma. Of course, check out my episode on mana. It's all the same thing. It's interesting to look at different cultures and how they deal with these magical energies. If it's mana or using the chakras, there are different levels and things that we can learn from all of them. They're all referring to this sort of magical energy. We can tell by taking Kirlian photographs, there is an energy field around us. We know that there's energies that we cannot see. It's easy to understand this concept. The radio is on. There are radio waves that are attracted to that radio that you don't see. So you know there's a field of energy around you that you cannot see. Assume that you have some sort of control over it, because you do. Your energy is manipulated by the different chakras in your body. There's more than 7. You could find thousands of them, but there's primary centers between 13 and 7, depending on how you define it. Some of these energy centers are basically 2 centers combined. You're not going to find these energy centers if you were to do an X-ray. or an MRI, but they are there. It's important to understand they don't exist in your physical body. You have multiple bodies, and these centers are in another body that you cannot necessarily see. It is the energy of the sun and moon and planets and stars. It is also the same energy that you have inside you and all around you. Indeed, this energy or prana exists everywhere and permeates everything. Occult rituals and spells all revolve around being able to manipulate or control magical energy and direct it to do the will of the magician or witch. As you can see, learning to control this energy is an essential skill that you must have. The good news is that creating an energy ball is one of the best and fun ways to learn this magical craft. From now on, you have to think in terms of energy, as everything in the universe is composed of magical energy. You are made of energy. How do you manipulate this energy? Manipulating magical energy is the skill that every serious practitioner should learn. And as we move to the new earth, it's a magical new earth. So begin the process. As we're moving to the new earth, every single day we have a little bit more fourth density energy slowly being given to us. It is my belief that a variety of higher powers have worked very diligently to control the fourth density energy that's coming to our planet and sort of let it drip in like a slow drip. Every day it's just a tiny, tiny bit more, so much so that you can't tell. It makes you think of the story of the frog boiling away, but not knowing it because it just gets a little bit hotter. We're not boiling, we're just existing in this energy. And it's important for us to learn how to use this energy. How do you do it? How do you manipulate magical energy and make it form into a ball? According to an ancient Hermetic teaching, the all is mind, and that the universe is mental. Another teaching expresses that as above, so below. Although this has several occult significances, for now, let us use it in relation to the creation of an energy ball. The key that you have to remember is that you can manipulate magical energy by using your mind. Remember this secret: energy follows thought. One of the coolest ways that you can understand energy coming to your mind. Understand that atoms, electrons, the smallest subatomic particles can disappear and reappear anywhere in the universe. They do not have to travel. They simply disappear into a quantum field and then can reappear. They have the ability of instantaneous travel to anywhere in the universe. And these atoms are attracted to other atoms that are similar. Like attracts like. If you start to think about energy, the atoms that are associated with that energy will pop up right there. You may let them dissipate, but they will appear just by thinking about it. Your thought brings them up. This attraction is from the thought and the action that you take. You should know that the imagination is the best tool. If you look at the word closely, you can form this little code. Image. Indeed, the imagination is magical. And I believe that Neville Goddard, when he talked about the secret of using the imagination, he called himself the magician of the beautiful. He was a magician. It is a part of the magical self. The imagination is God. Unfortunately, many people fail to use the imagination to its fullest potential. They act as if it's not important or it's not real. When it comes to using the imagination, start listening to those Neville Goddard episodes on the law. You don't need to listen to the promise, but he will talk about using the imagination. When you think of imagination, visualization usually always comes to mind. If I tell you to imagine a frog, you get a picture of it in your mind. Although this may be okay, you can still take it to the next level by using more senses. Don't just see the frog. Hear it croaking, smell it, feel it. The more sense you use, the more you make it powerful and real. Neville Goddard explained this feeling is the secret. The feeling of everything, the vivid image of it, is the secret to imagination. Check out my episode on the vivid imaging technique by Brown Landone. You can use this technique and you get more energy, more subtle energy. There's an infinite number of atoms and they are aspiring. They're aspiring to become something better. They want to serve you because you are God. They have to serve you, but they want to. And so they will come to you when you call for them. You can call up energy anytime. Modern science has discovered that the mind cannot really tell the difference between physical reality and one that is imagined. It's not a surprise, since according to magical teachings, those that you imagine are also real. It is only the modern world that taught man that their imagination differs from reality. So from now on, think as a real magician and know the truthfulness of your imagination. If you find it hard to do visualization, you might like what many refer to as tactile visualization. When you do tactile visualization, you do not use any visual or any sensory imagination except only the sense of feeling. So instead of imagining a bright burning ball between your hands, simply feel a hot sensation between your hands without having to see a hot ball in your mind's eye. There are people who prefer it this way. However, since you are a serious and passionate practitioner of energy, and as far as this podcast is concerned, you are a student, it is strongly ordered that you must learn and use all the senses at once. Do not be content with just the regular way to visualize things, or with the tactile way, but use all the senses at once, for this is the way to true power. Before you can create an energy ball, you need to draw energy from something. A big mistake that people make when they first start manipulating energy is they give their own energy. You're not doing that. There's unlimited energy all around you. You need to pull up your own energy. Sometimes I will bring this energy to me by doing a Qigong exercise, Tai Chi exercise, some sort of movement-oriented exercise that pulls energy. You can even just visualize the energy pulling up through your feet if you don't want to move around. There is energy inside you and all around you. The energy inside you is your personal energy. There's also the energy of the sun, the moon, the oceans, the rocks, and stars. The energy all around you is referred to as universal energy. Don't be confused. These are all one and the same energy force, but they vary in terms of quality and vibration. With the power of your mind, you can draw energy from anything and everything. It's not always good to use your personal energy since it can be draining. If you spend too much personal energy, then you might end up drained and tired. Draw energy from external sources. So it's advised that you first create with an energy ball using some outside energy. You can absorb energy, you can pull it up. Just imagine for a second before you start to create the energy ball that you're drawing it from somewhere. If you're outside, you can pull it from the sun. You can even put your hand up to the sun and just feel flowing in to your body. Check out my episode on healing hands. The hands are amazingly powerful, and I believe they're chakras on each finger, that the energy that you have with your hand you can expel and create. It is an organ that's incredibly important. So use the energy around you, draw energy from external sources. Simply use your imagination. You can visualize energy in any way you want. If you're just starting out, it is often recommended that you see the energy as a white light. But then again, you are not limited to this. If you want to see it as green or even blue, you can do that. You can even imagine it as water. It has the effect of water, It is like water that is not wet, but you can imagine it like water. And sometimes I've found it to be better and more effective to imagine the white light, white water. The important thing is to know and intend that it is magical energy that you are manipulating. Hence, for example, if you want to draw energy from the sun, simply visualize the sun in the sky. You do not even have to see the physical sun, and visualize a ray of light coming down from the sun and let it enter the top of your head. And then let this ray of light flow and form a ball between your hands. Don't worry about this for now. We'll try to discuss it a little more later in the creation of energy balls. But for now, just focus on learning the theoretical side. Understand that you're pulling energy. Understand how this process is working. The energy comes in through your body. As you get better at this, you're going to start to really understand and discern this energy. There are so many different kinds of energies, and you can really filter out and pick the best energies to come through your body. And what you can do is use your chakras in your body as sort of a filter. And you can pull this energy through your feet and imagine it coming from the earth. You can imagine energies coming down from the sun, and you can test the difference between these energies. And you can pull them into your heart and use the heart as a sort of alchemical tool and let the energy come out through the heart into your hands. By doing this, you become sensationally aware of the energy that moves through your body, and you start to move it. Programming is something that you can do. It's about telling your energy ball what to do. You create the energy ball, and then you tell it what to do. Oftentimes, people will use a mantra in the process of pulling the energy into the ball. Holding your hands out, you'll feel the heat, the tickling sensation of the ball. You'll see it in your imagination. You'll pull it up. You see the flow of energy as it comes up through your body into your hands, and you'll start to see this ball of energy. This process can involve a variety of different mantras. Some people just prefer the Om, and you can just Om it up. Vibrating your vocal box in some way seems to be more effective. It concentrates your mind. Check out my episode on charging water. You'll get a good idea of this. If you still feel like you don't have enough energy, then I recommend that you understand the middle pillar exercise by Israel Regardie. Check out my episode by Israel Regardie on the art of healing. And they talk about the middle pillar in that exercise. But using old Kabbalistic knowledge, there's an old technique where people would conduct the middle pillar and pull light in, starting at the top of their head above their crown. And they would say, Ehyeh, or I am, and vibrating, saying it over and over and over again. Some magicians claim that they'll do it all day. They don't imagine any energies going through the third eye or the crown. It's above the head. The next thing they imagine is right in the middle of the head, going from the top to the middle of the head. Some text will go only to the throat and just skip the head. And they will say, Yehovah Elohim, trying to wake up the Elohim within us that Neville Goddard talks about. Yehovah Elohim. Then focusing on the heart, bringing energy to the heart, a golden energy, they imagine Yehovah Eloah Vada'ath. They imagine down in the root chakra or the sacral chakra, but in that general area, they will imagine Shaddai El-Kai, and then they imagine the energy going to the root of the earth at the feet. There's a variety of different energetic practices that do this process of bringing the energy down And there are a variety of them that do the process of bringing the energy up. The law of one material indicates our primary energy is really from the earth. And so we're pulling energy from our feet all the time. So what I have found, even after a while, do headstands or shift your body so that you become aware of these energetic movements in your body. It doesn't necessarily move up straight. The energies move through your body like a coil or serpent. So if you really feel them properly, they're moving in a winding pattern, sort of like DNA, through your spinal area. You can control this energy. You can move the energy to wherever you want. The more you do this, you'll start to see the colors, but you can imagine the colors that they're supposed to be. I've talked about the colors. Check out my episode on chakras. There's a lot of different discussion of colors, but you can see the colors. You can see and feel these energies. They have unique feelings in each, and you can see the energy coming out of any chakra. You can create an energy ball if it comes out of the sacral, it comes out of the root, comes out of the solar. I prefer coming out through the heart because I like to combine the energies, but you can do it through any of these, and each energy center may have its own unique power in creating the energy ball once you get better and better at this. So you want to become effective at sensing energy. It's something that you have to learn, like riding a bike. It takes a little time. You have to take your time and learn how to sense energy. Learn how you can sense energy. Make that your goal. Write it down. Here's an exercise that you can do. First, rub your hands together for about 10 seconds. Next, position them in front of you as if you were holding a ball. Bring them as close as possible, but do not let them touch. Do not even allow your fingers to touch. Now, as you breathe in slowly, connect the energy to the breath. Bring your hands slowly apart. And as you breathe out slowly, bring your hands back as close as possible without letting them touch. After a few seconds, you will start to feel some pressure and tingling sensation between your palms. The more you do this, you will feel the ball of energy. You will have no doubt about it. When I sit and do some Qigong or Qigong exercises that I describe in my book, The Reality Revolution, I have a set of exercises that you can do. You can do a variety of exercises. There is not one unique one, but you could just do Zen swings, just getting the energy moving in your body, feeling it coming out. There's such a powerful tingling sensation. I've had a point where I had so much energy in my hands, I could not push my hands together to touch. There would be simply no way for my thumbs and fingers to touch because there was so much dense, powerful energy between my hands. You will have this experience. This is magical energy that you are feeling. Don't be discouraged if you don't feel anything. It could take years for some people just to even convince their subconscious mind that this is a real thing, because this is not a normal thing. People don't walk around holding energy balls in their hands. There's a part of you that's doubting this already, that thinks this is all BS or woo-woo. Just practice this every day, knowing that it's real. Take my word for it, and you will soon succeed. Don't worry. This technique is very easy to learn. It's a beginning step to creating thought forms, and you'll most probably get it on your first try. People may be doing this and creating energy balls that affect you. And so I'm telling you that if you learn how to do this, you can use it to protect yourself and to do things for you that is very powerful. So you know the theory behind it. You know you're pulling in energy. You're sending the energy out one of your chakras into your hands. So you understand the theory and the idea of how it works, that your mind is connected to this energy and you think about it. The first thing you want to do is have a plan. Why do you want to have and use an energy ball? Do you want to use it for protection? for healing, or just for fun. It is your will that will be done. There must be a purpose. Don't just create the energy ball, there must be a purpose. This is the time when you can think about other details, such as how long you want your energy ball to exist, its color, and others. Once you know why you want to have an energy ball, then it is time to move on to the next step. Now, a side note, I will say we're going to talk a little bit more about recharging your energy ball, which I found to be effective. You should charge it. You should have in mind how long it'll be charged. Generally, 15 to 21 days is how long an energy ball will stay charged. But when I've used crystals, certain crystals have allowed for certain energy balls to stay fully energized for long periods of time. At least I could sense them enough. It's something that we need to experiment with. But I would say that it's part of intention. If you ignore your intention for too long, eventually you'll just forget about it. So, place your hands in front of you as if you were holding a ball. Now, time to draw energy. You can use personal energy, but just know that this is not your habit. It's not suggested, as it can drain you, but you can draw energy and let it go directly to the location between your hands where you intend to make your energy ball. You can do that, just the simplest, without thinking of the energy anywhere else. You can also allow it to enter your body before letting it flow out from your hands. The choice is yours to make, but be creative. If you can draw from the earth, you can absorb energy from the soles of your feet and let it fill your body before you let it flow out of your hands into the energy ball. I've even found it very powerful to do this while grounded with your feet bare on grass or rock. Now I tie the energy flow to my breath. So with every inhalation, you can combine energy sources. You can draw energy from faraway planets. There is no limit to where you can get your energy. Oftentimes, that's why we don't find the energy. We have such limited imaginations. Continue to draw as much energy as you like and have it accumulate into a ball between your hands. You can say the mantra. You can say Yeshua, which is, in some languages, can mean all of the elements: earth, air, fire, and water. There are a number of different languages that use that particular idea of your mantra. You could just say earth, air, fire, and water. What I find funny is a lot of times we use mantras, we don't know the meaning. When we can say the actual words, it might be more powerful. You can say an affirmation: I'm calling upon the energies of air, the energies of fire, the energies of earth, the energies of water. I call upon these elements to combine and move through my body, to come through my heart and into my hands. That might be more powerful for you. But you should be able to feel the energy ball at this point. If you don't feel anything, then you need to add more and more energy until you are satisfied. Everything in the universe has a name, so you may want to name your ball. Even God has a name. So to give it life, one of the things that I have found is to give it a name. How do you give it a name? Simply tell the energy ball its name. Your name is Joe. Your name is Enigma. Your name is All Power. Your name, whatever. I wouldn't use a common name. Something that's a little different, that won't be repeated. If another magician knows its name, perhaps they can use it. It's not something I would want to know or find out. Now that you have an energy ball and that it already has a name, it is time to tell it what you want it to do. We've already discussed how to program. You can program it by giving it specific details. Tell it what you want it to do. Or repeat the imagination technique where you visualize your energy ball doing its task over and over again. So I would say saying it out loud, Some people are in situations where they can't. They live in a family situation where they literally can't say it out loud. So you can write it down. You can whisper it. There is a moment of creation. With these energy balls, there's also a moment of expiration. You should give your energy ball a lifespan. You set for how long you want it to exist. To do this, simply tell your energy ball you have a lifetime of. It can be as short as long as possible. I have given some thought forms infinite life, and it was a big deal. I felt like other entities came to me to tell me how big of a deal it was. Just remember that if you give it a long lifespan, you have to recharge it. Or you can set it up and experiment with it so that it recharges itself, but you have to remember to imagine vividly the way that it's continuing to acquire energy. I've tied energy balls to crystals that are powerful, that are like a liquid light. And sometimes that's all you need to do. Everybody's different. You may not believe in that. This is something that you want to experiment with. You feed it with more energy in the same way that you've created it. Feed energy. And then, once it's complete, you let it go. You have to let the energy ball go and do its task. You can blow on it. You can throw it. Move your hands away and see it moving away. This technique is powerful. And it's one of the reasons why the energy ball technique works for so many people, is that it is a physical way for you to let go. Once the energy ball is on its way, you can stop thinking about that thing. A lot of times we overthink about things. And sometimes I would say doing the energy ball technique at a minimum is going to help you to let go of what it is you're trying to manifest. You can do this for experiences, ideas, for anything that you want to create. You can send this energy ball to work on creating some reality, to work on helping you find a relationship. You can use the energy ball to help you heal, to find things that you want to find. All I can tell you is it's worked for me in crazy ways. And you can use this as a way of intentionally using your mind to send out intentional manifestations instead of just quietly trying to dream about them at night. But letting go means sending it out into the world. It also means you must not think about your energy ball. A lot of times people fail. You're planting a seed when you send out the energy ball. You are not digging up the seed to look at and see if it's growing. If you worry about the ball, then it will fail to do its task. It is linked to your mind. You just replace the energy ball and start over again. For it to do its mission, you have to let it go completely. Get busy with something. Just do something to make yourself busy, to forget about it. The ball will begin to do its work the moment you forget about it. You have to completely forget about it. So, once you start creating the ball and you get better at it, you can inevitably start to create servitors, and you can make your manifestation even more complicated. Some people call it a servitor. Some people will create a name and go beyond the name, and they will also create a sigil or symbol of this energy ball. That some people have found to be very powerful by drawing a symbol for this beyond just its name. And they will go beyond imagining it's an energy ball. They will imagine it as a creature, as a dragon, as another person. You will start to give it a physical form, body, whatever it is. You can make it so that only you can see it. I have used this as a way, hey, I want to protect my house. Just watch over my house. Watch over the creatures and insects in my house. Take care of it. And almost like a security system, I know for sure that it's worked. So you can do that. You can create your servitor. You create an intent. You put a symbol behind it. You charge it in the same way you charge the energy ball, but you go beyond. You really use your imagination and create something amazing. Maybe it's not something that you can see. Maybe it's something beyond that. An all-powerful deity that you are creating that will help you, that is you. Now, the idea here is that there are dangerous thought forms that people are creating anyway. People are creating energy balls all the time, unconsciously, and sending them out, throwing them out all the time. Some of these energies are negative. There are thought forms that are creating all the time. They could even be pendulums or egregores. When multiple people are thinking these thoughts, they become very powerful thought forms. You can use this technique to battle any entities that you believe are diminishing you. If you believe there's a pendulum, when I use the word pendulum, I'm not talking about swinging a pendulum. I'm talking about the idea of an independent energy structure that may be conscious or not, that starts to exist with multiple thought forms and becomes an individualized, powerful thought form just by the sheer number of people that are thinking about it. You can create your own thought form to battle this, to watch over, to mitigate any energy loss. You can give all kind of commands. I have found that this particular technique may be the way to battle the pendulums because they are very powerful. They will do whatever you ask. The idea is there are individuals who use this technique and they create destructive thought forms that are meant to attack and hurt others, as we saw in the Law of One. This is terrible and unfortunate, but it is the truth. That is why your knowledge of using this is powerful. I think it's rare, but the service to self, higher density beings, they don't want to actually face you because you could destroy them with your love. Your love is so powerful. They always work through intermediaries and thought forms, because if they were to come close to you, you could send your love to them. You could think lovingly of them and completely take away their power. And so they're afraid of people that are able to do this, which are few that understand the rules. So they will send thought forms. Worst case scenario, the thought form is just diminished. But there are individuals that create these for negative intent. The most prolific type of negative thought form that I've run into is not the consciously created one. It's actually the accidental thought form. These kind of thought forms are incredibly prevalent in our world, and they're basically caused by accidental thoughts and intentions of others, negative thoughts and desires that begin to pool into a large conglomeration of negativity. The reason for this conglomeration is that thoughts have an electromagnetic quality that essentially makes them magnets. They have the ability to attract other thoughts that are similar to them, popping up from any part of the universe, and as a result, they can create a giant conglomeration of thought, like a big stew. It's highly complex action, but one can generally think of it as like thoughts attract each other, and since no two thoughts can be exactly the same, the difference in these highly attractive thoughts allow for a type of mixing or development that changes the overall quality of the newly created gestalt. These negative thought gestalts are very prevalent in areas where there has been a lot of tragedy. People can label them as ghosts or poltergeists. The less developed ones are often called echoes by paranormal investigators, and that they tend to be thought forms that recreate terrible past events. All traumatic events and any emotionally intensive experience causes a thought stamp like the one mentioned above. And not all such thought forms become apparent to people in a general sense in order for a tragic event to become stamped on reality. So an average person can sense it. It's a huge amount of psychic energy. So you start to create these energy balls, and then you start to create servitors to protect yourself against these. There's so many different accidental thought forms and pendulums all around you. Why don't you create an ally on your side? Once you become adept at this, you can do as Vadim Zeland talks about, and you can create an ally in everything. Everything is alive and conscious around you. You can start programming your energy balls into objects so that the items around you are all programmed to do certain things, sending you energy, protecting you. You can send your servitor to battle for you. and it should be able to overcome any negative thought. And if you make that intention, you can use it to attract and fight off negative thought streams. I recommend that the names that you use, keep them secret. And I recommend that you use your imagination vividly. The size doesn't matter. They can be big or small. You can dissipate the servitor by calling them back to yourself and thanking them lovingly and taking away their energy. You can make them conscious. So let's make this clear. You're creating a living being if you're adept at this. So be aware of that. Give it free will if you have to. Bless it. Give it a mission, a purpose. I've tied several energy balls to certain crystals in my house to just simply provide love to everyone on the planet in an increasing way. It feels good to know that they're doing that little thing. And it seems like when you get a thought stream that's working for others, it has more power. Try it. If whatever you do is just about yourself, it'll have power. You can use energy for it. But it seems like when you create a thought form that has a certain positive effect that is in service to others, that other energies come to it naturally because it wants to be a part of this. There is much more energy available for those in service to others than service to self. The amount of energy is much less. There's a lot more they have to do. They do a lot more rituals and weird stuff on the other side to create these energies because they're not naturally available, but they're naturally available to those that are doing things for service. There is a simple way for you to understand your energy, and that's to start creating energy balls. If you get really good at it, try doing it through your feet. Understand you can create energy through any part of your body. It's just easy to do through our hands because they're so tactile. Practice regularly. Allow the energy to flow. Don't force it. Make it smooth and natural. Believe it. Believing that you're doing this. Find a way to believe it. Start out by creating an energy ball. Some people just simply do not believe in themselves or what they're doing, or they have that doubter that undermines the power of the energy ball. You can do this in meditation. You can do it in a variety of ways. But the process of just imagining the energy, manipulating the energy, controlling and programming the energy is a process that you need to be coming into power with. I recommend once you get good at it that you use elemental powers. You can bring fire to it. You can use fire energy. You can use air energy and wind energy. All of those things, I believe, are conscious and available to you at all times. There are some people that recommend using a shell. I don't think it's important, but some people say they create a shell around their energy ball. Do this lovingly and try to do it relaxed. Don't make it something that you have to do. This is something that you enjoy doing. You're learning, you're experimenting, you're creating. There's a lot of questions on how fast you can create one. I would tell you that you're probably not creating an effective energy ball if you're doing it in 20 seconds. I'm telling you, you might want to spend 5 to 15 minutes at first. If you've been doing it for a long time, then you can create the energy ball. But don't think that you've created the energy ball by just sitting and breathing for a few seconds. Really work on it, and you'll get better at it. You'll be surprised that you did create the energy that you wanted to. You don't have to be obsessed with the timing, but just give your focus and intention to it, even for a couple of minutes, because a lot of times people will just try to do it in 10 seconds. Can you make the energy ball physically visible? I believe that you can. I have done it enough where I've showed my girlfriend and she can see the blur. I know that I'm creating a little bit of that in my mind, but I do believe if you experiment with this enough, you can see the blur. I would love to get pictures. If anybody gets the blur going with their energy ball, share those pictures at my Facebook group, Welcome to the Reality Revolution on Facebook. Share it with me on Instagram. Send me a message. I'd love to see the energy. I believe that you can. I believe that you will eventually be able to use the energy ball to move physical objects. I think this is how we're going to get in touch with our ability to control and move objects, to be psychic, just by starting with something basic, by creating the energy ball. You can always make more than one energy ball. You can make as many as you want, as long as you're pulling the energy from somewhere else. You don't have to use your hands, but that is how people start. You can change it into any shape. This is a beginning class. So starting out with the ball is the easiest, because that's the shape of your hands when you're sending energy through your fingertips. I get people that say that I just can't sense the energy. I can't. What should I do? And just keep on practicing. You're equipped with the knowledge to do this. You have the intention to do this. I suspect you're probably feeling it, and you're expecting something else, and that's why you don't think you're feeling it. You're going to ask yourself, is this just my imagination? Is this a joke? Remember, imagination creates reality. It is mostly a mere act of imagination. It requires willpower and belief, but just because it's an act of imagination does not mean it does not exist. I believe it does exist. I believe that this is the boundary where we can start to test our ability to see our imagination come into form very quickly. So I want you all to please start experimenting with this. I'm going to take a few moments right now and give you a little exercise so that you can use my voice to guide you at the beginning. And I want you to share your experiences with it. Take pictures. Tell me about your technique. How did it work? So take a deep breath. Breathe in, connect to your breath, and make it conscious. And sense the energies coming up from the earth through your feet. You should feel a little tingling around your feet. Feel it as if water is being pushed up through your feet, moving into your feet and your ankles, and feel the energy moving upwards to your knees and legs, up through your groin, your stomach, your chest and back, all the way up through your head, down through your arms, and down to your hands. Just let the energy flow. Don't worry about where it's going. See it coming up and pull it up with your breath, like you're sucking the energy up from the earth. Sometimes this usual action of sucking up the energy is all you need to do. At the same time, I want you to pull down the energy. It's a different kind of energy. I want you to pull this down. We're working with intelligent energies, the energy that is the earth and the energy that is the sun. And you're pulling this energy down. And feel it as soon as you breathe in. You can feel the energy coming up through your feet. At the same time, you feel this other energy coming down through your crown chakra. Feel it going down through your face, all the muscles in your face, through your neck, through your shoulders, down through your hands, but down through your whole body, your groin, through your legs, down to your feet. And feel the energy going down beyond your feet from the sun, down into the center of the earth. Feel these energies pooling together, transforming with intention, pulling the energies back up through your feet, and then feel them coming up through your crown and then going up to meet the sun. And there's sort of a sexual energy that forms right now between the sun and the earth. You are the conduit for this energy. Feel it flowing and then feel it starting to form right there at your heart. Your heart is very powerful. It can call any atoms it wants into existence right now. And you're calling them, all of this energy funneling through your body, up and down, coming together at your heart. And so now you feel it coming out to the hands. And I want you to hold your hands out with your fingers as close as you can get to start without touching. We're going to just do an Om. Each time we're going to feel this energy is increasing. And as you start to feel any energies between your fingers, I want you to expand your hands outwards so that a ball begins to form. Feeling this energy moving through your body out from your heart to this area between your hands, flowing through your hands and arms, flowing everywhere, coming from all aspects and filtering itself, coming together in this purified, powerful form of energy. Feel it growing. Feel this energy growing. Feel the heat. Feel its balance and its weight. You can sense the texture of this as the energy grows. Simply focus on this energy growing as you hold your hands out. With each breath, it grows in power and density, flickering in energy. I want you to give it a name right now, a name that is personal to you. No one else will know, and it will be your secret. Call it its name. Now I want you to give it an intention and purpose. Tell it exactly what you want it to do. Tell it exactly how long it will be activated. Give it an expiration date. Go through a full intention. It may be to energize your body, protect your home, whatever it is. You know what it is. Give it this programming now. Call it by name and give it this programming. Now send the ball away to do exactly what you want to do. You can blow it, you can throw it. And as soon as you send it away, I want you to see it disappearing, moving so fast it disappears to wherever it has to go. And I want you to immediately think about something else. Look around your room and find something beautiful and become fascinated by its beauty and instantly think of something else. Very good. This is a starting point for you. This is a starting exercise. You're learning how to feel your energy and manipulate it. You got to start somewhere, and this is a place for you to start. Keep on practicing this. You'll get better and better at it. You have incredible power that you're not aware of, and you have to practice to get used to using this. And as you do, you'll have greater sensations and more energy. So many things. You can use it to change your life. So please let me know how it went for you. If you had any success, put it in the comments. I want to hear about it. I'm creating an energy ball now that will spread out and enhance the love and joy of everyone listening or watching this podcast. It's going to feel so good. And I want you to know when you feel that, my energy ball has done its job. Thank you so much for sharing this with me. And welcome to the reality revolution.